Salutations, my name is Summer, and this is Cozy Reading with Quaker Cats. And I thought I would update you, excuse me, on what I've read, what I'm currently reading, and also some things that are, some nature things that are happening around my place right now. Uh, Sorry about the noise and the lighting and all that. I'm really thinking about starting to make videos on my phone, or at least my iPad, but I just love using my laptop because I guess I'm lazy. I like to just sit here and talk and upload it and link everything in, and it's so easy. So if you're not making videos, it's very easy if you have a laptop. I'm sure people would say who use their phone and iPad say, "Oh, it's so easy on that also." I just haven't learned it yet. So, I've actually finished some books this past week. Um, One of them was The Aftermath by Ridian Brooke. I love this book. I watched the movie years ago. I love the movie, but now that I've read the book is so much better. There's so many more important details that can make you empathize, sympathize more. This starts out in 1946, Hamburg. Um, there's a British officer who is moving his family into a German home, and the people who own the home is a man and his daughter, and so it's their family. It's Louis and Rachel and their son, and I think their son's around 10, and then they're moving into the home with Lubert and his daughter Frida, who is 14, I think 15. So you have these different ages. You have all these different points of view of, you hear all the different sides, and I'm American, so um, I was seeing a whole different um, side of things because of my experiences. But I loved it. I loved. Oh, sorry, my phone is going off. I loved hearing about the complications, um, the inspirations. This character Lewis is absolutely perfect. You know, I hope you guys can't hear that my phone going off. Anyway, it's probably my mom. So yeah, I absolutely love this book. I would I would recommend it. And the movie also, even though the movie is more of a romance. You know how they do that? They cut out important details. Um, the endings are similar, but for different reasons. If I could be any more vague, right? Uh, so let's see. I finished The Drawing of the Three. This is a reread for me. I love this book. It's my favorite book in the series. It's not my favorite King book, but it's my favorite book in the series. Um, Eddie, you meet Eddie, who is my favorite character throughout. Gosh, I shouldn't tell you these things because I feel like everything I say, it's like I want to tell you about the book, but then I feel like I'm spoiling everything. So you meet some new characters. I feel like this is honestly the build-up um, of what's to happen, not the Gunslinger, which is the first book in the series. I'm reading this with a great group of people over at Steve Talks About Books and Stuff, and I will link his channel down below. He has, there's going to be a live chat with about this book. I will link the information down below. I wanted to say it's Sunday the 19th, but I should have wrote this down and been more prepared. Um, but anyway, I will link the information and I'll link Steve's channel down below. He's a great guy. Um, and he has a Discord, which, will be, if you go to his channel, you can find all the information. But yeah, this book, it's got, it's got so many, um, amazing things that happen. It's dirty, nitty gritty. It has a lot of darkness. It has so many surprises of how is this going to work? Like, how are you having this happen to this character? Um, there's a little bit of there's like a love story in it a little bit. So yeah, it's so good. Uh, you know, every trigger in the world is in that book, just to give you a heads up. Another one that is the same way is I read The Little Sisters of Aurelia, Uria, Uria. This is a prequel to The Gunslinger. I had never read this before, and also I found out through the people who are reading this, reading do in this read along, that this is in the short story collection Everything Eventual. So if you don't want to read it through graphic novel, it is in that also. I have the book. I can't find it. I have maybe 9 more boxes of books to unpack, so it's probably in there. Um, okay, so this this is about Roland and the experiences he goes through before he the gunslinger. So you have him in the desert coming up. My cats are really playing. Coming up to this small town, you get the back history of the town. You meet the little sisters, and their agenda, and oh my gosh, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. But it was very good. I enjoyed. I should be careful where I pick it up, but I enjoy. I didn't want to spoil anything. Um, I enjoyed it so much. It was a lot of fun. Okay, so the histories. I have read more of this. I have squeezed it in somehow. Well, other books have been neglected, but I have gotten to. I'm still in book 4. I feel like book 4 goes on forever. Maybe that's just me. And honestly, it is really the same type of thing. This person wants to rule and is going to, in a horrible, horrific, torturous way, kill somebody else, and it goes into detail. I really think that Herodotus was kind of like a gossip in a way. Like he just wants to tell us all the nitty gritty dirty stuff. But I got this from the library, this edition, and this is a Norton Critical edition. So much better than this edition, I think, because this one is full of map. This has like one map, and it's not very good. And this one is full of, each section has different maps, and I really appreciate that. But this is a library book, so that's another reason why I picked it back up. And I've decided that I have ordered the audiobook, because I struggle with names. It's like if I don't know how to pronounce a name, I'll just, every time, like, that sentence will be stunted because I won't. If it's a fantasy, I'll just make up a name of my own. But like these are places and people, and I don't want to be disrespectful and mispronounce everything. I picked, this was one of my booktube spins. It might have been my first booktube spin, honestly, which was earlier in the year. And Equal Music by Vikram Seth. I go back and forth. I'm over halfway now, but I go back and forth with this book. I'm not a huge fan of the main character, but I do really like the woman he's in love with. Um, and what she's going through is so heartbreaking, and it's heartbreaking for him, um, to to have the passion and loves in life that he has, to see now what she's going through. So I know that's very vague, but I don't want to. I just don't. I don't want to ever give something away that as you're reading it, you'll be able to experience it for yourself, and it surprise you or make you feel something. Does that make any sense? I'm so behind on this read along, Lacey story. I'm reading this with a group of people, and I'm pretty sure Jacquie. So I've Jacquie over at Jacquie Lou's Book Queue. I have read 3.5 books with her because I did DNF a book on her, which is horrible. But she's a fast. She'll be, if she says she's going to read something, she reads it, and it's Scott, he's like already done with it too. But I think Mark, Scott Danielson, which I'll link him down below. But Mark over at Book Time with Elvis, I think he's kind of like me, where we're reading so many things. It's like hard to pick and choose what you're going to read. So Lacey's story, Stephen King. This is a reread. This is actually one of my favorite Stephen King novels, and I still feel that way. Um, I'm only on page 66, so I really need to get back into this because I will fly through it. If I just focus on this, I will fly through this book because I love it. I love the marriage between Lacey and her husband Scott, and yeah, it's so interesting. We find out that Scott had Lacey knows this, of course. She's married to him for all those years, but we're finding out more about Scott, and oh, it's so good. I don't want to give anything away, but it's such of a great book. Um, The Name of the Rose by Umberto Eco. I'm reading this with another great group of people. I'm 40 pages behind from where I should be today. So I'm on page 199. Um, so yeah, I'm trying to read 20 pages a day. Some people, I'm not mentioning names, Sandy. But anyway, she'll fly through. She's just so great. Anyway, yeah. So, but I'm behind. Actually, there's so many people who are already like flying through this book. I am really enjoying it. It's very different. I've never read Umberto Eco before. I enjoy his writing. I think it's beautiful. It's almost like art. It makes you feel something, no matter what the description is. Um, and yeah, it's in a monastery. There's this mysterious, creepy. So it's interesting to hear what people have to say about it because I people were talking about the library and how it was they were like intrigued and they were fascinated by this library. And me, I was like, there is no way I would be going in that library. Number one, I would not know the language, so I wouldn't be able to read anything. Number two, we know bad things are happening. I don't want to give anything away, but bad things are happening. We have had murders. You're not going to get me into some dark little maze of a library for anything. That's how adventurous I am. Um, the last thing is I got a message from Deanna at Pato the Reader last night, and she started this, and I think she said she was on page 50. Well, I started it last night. I got distracted by cats. I have two cats that are not feeling well, and well, honestly, Primrose, she's has chronic respiratory infection. That's how she's always been, and the vet says that's how she'll always be. But my Randall, he is not feeling well either. So everybody else is good though. But sometimes, and having so many cats, sometimes you just have to stop and give that cat some extra attention at that moment. So anyway, I did pick this up last night. It's going to be so good. I mean, already so much has happened. I've only read 18 pages and I don't know what's happening, but it's a lot has happened, if that makes any sense. Anyway, so that is what that's what I've read, what I'm currently reading. I love this time of year so much. Absolutely love it. I love the chill in the air in the morning. I love the at night when it's also a little bit chilly. I love when the trees start to lose their leaves. They start to undress and turn colors for us. Um, it's just so beautiful, beautiful time of year. I had a friend who I haven't seen for years. He came over and my mom bought a gazebo and it's so nice. I mean, it's just so nice. And we were sitting in the swing talking, and all of a sudden, this red bird flew past us from the grape arbor to the peach tree. And I looked at it and I said, "What happened to that cardinal?" And he said, "That's a cardinal?" I mean, it was all, we know how cardinals are. They have the orange beak, they're all red, but its head was black. Like it had no feathers on its head. It was like completely black. And we got to laughing. I mean, he took a picture of it. So that's where I need to. learn how to put in pictures. I need to do more things on my. I just bought a smartphone, so I haven't had it for very long. But I need to learn how to do these things so I can show you. Because I just laughed and laughed. I laughed until I had tears. It was so funny. But it was also like, what's happening to this bird? Like I was worried for the bird because I have stray cats outside, and I was like, well, did a cat get a hold of it? And he said, did it get burnt? We just could not figure out why this cardinal had a black head with no feathers. Um, well, I looked it up, and this is a natural process. I guess cardinals and blue jays, they'll start to molt and they'll lose some feathers. Every once in a while, they'll lose all of their head feathers, and I'm going to link um, actually a thing where it shows you what I saw. I'd like to just show you the picture that my friend took, but I'll link it to show you what happens. And they say it happens more often here in like the North American cardinal and blue jays. I've never seen a blue. Now I want to see a blue jay that has starting to molt, and I'll pay closer attention. It's after nesting season, so I found that fascinating. Also, there was in the garlic chives, the blossoms, there was a wasp that was absolutely gorgeous. I shared it on my Instagram, pictures of it. It had blue wings. It was like a black blue. And then it had this gold band. I mean, metallic, shiny gold band on its middle to hind area. And yeah, absolutely gorgeous. So I had to look it up. And I think it was called something very simple, like a blue winged wasp, something like that. But it apparently kills Japanese beetles. So I found that interesting because I haven't seen any Japanese beetles here. Um, and then when my peaches they're almost gone, but they're delicious. I just feel so blessed that I have a peach tree that I can eat off of. I have 3 apple trees that I can eat apples off of. The grapes aren't that great. Hey, Rolo. But our figs haven't come in. Our figs are funny because the only year we had really delicious figs, the actual fruit, was a year that we had these huge wasps come in. And I guess they have the whole maybe fertilizing the fruit. I don't even know. I don't know. But I think there's a connection there that year we had those humongous ground wasps come in. And that was the year we had delicious figs. But the pears are perfect now. Yeah, so I feel like I'm kind of in a garden, Garden Eden. Um, and yeah, I think that's everything I have to say. I hope everybody's doing well. I'd love to hear what you guys are reading. I'd love to hear your thoughts on some of these books that I have read already. Um, the Little Sisters, Elura. I don't even know how to Eluria. That was a big surprise for me. It was, I mean, I should have known it was going to be something crazy. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on any of these books or what you're reading. So I hope everybody's having a great day, that your September is going well. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.